Hi everyone, my name is Stephen Evers. I currently enrolled at PCC. I first got interested in the healthcare field due to some health-related complications when I was a kid. Some questions that were asked was like, how did this happen and what triggered it? So naturally being curious, I wanted to know what the situation was. So a common theme was it's believed to be triggered by the environment and history of the patient. As a 15-year-old, I wanted to know what that meant a little bit more clearly. So basically it came down to genetics and food. And the older I got, I kind of shaped how I wanted my research to look like. So now my research is going to be into epigenetics and nutrition. More specifically, I would like to have a master's degree as a physician assistant and some clinical research experience, whether I get a master's degree, and some nutritional experience somewhere. So doing my own research in epigenetics, I didn't see a lot of autoimmune diseases being researched a lot as a whole. So some individual ones were done, and that's great, but not exactly the same research that I was kind of wanting to be involved in. So my emphasis was wanting to be into nutrition and how that impacts our potential health as ourselves, and potentially how it affects our children and their children later on. And that's kind of where epigenetics comes into place, and how and why it explains how and why that happens. And that's what I'd like to research with. Thanks.
Hello, my name is Grayson Kohler. I go to PCC and I'm going to be transferred to PSU at the end of next year. About a year ago, I stumbled upon this new technology that's being improved upon called CRISPR-Cas, and it's essentially taking advantage of the immune systems that bacteria have and using that to make precise and quick edits to genomes of organisms. It's going to be very important for the future in terms of the extent we can apply this technology, who we can help with it, and also the ethical implications of how certain countries use the technology. It's important for me on multiple levels. Not only is it philosophically and scientifically interesting, but it also, genetic disease has affected my family a lot, and so it's very important for the future of humanity. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Nish Dasano. For the last 10 years, I have been obsessed with pain. I've been a massage therapist working one-on-one with people to relieve their pain, and I'm fascinated by it because pain is largely a mystery to us. No one can properly explain why phantom limb pain happens, for example. And additionally, pain is a serious problem in our country. There's a lot of peripheral effects that happen because of pain. I'm sure many people here are all too familiar with the opiate epidemic in this country and how pain medication contributes to that. 10,000 seniors die every year from non-steroidal anti-inflammatories like Aleve or ibuprofen due to ulcers. I want to contribute to the body of research on pain. I don't know where or how exactly I'm going to do that, but I strongly suspect that biochemistry will give me the tools to understand the mechanics for how pain works. And because research has shown that pain is sort of like a program that your brain plays using multiple systems, I will likely have to learn neuroscience as well, which I'm very excited about. I hope that my research can contribute to bridging the gap between people from low socioeconomic status can't always afford pain treatments. Most people in this room can't afford weekly massage. So anyway, that's what I want to do. Thank you.
Hi everybody, I'm Jasmine Freeman. I'm from Clark and I'm on the long road to a master's in microbiology. More specifically, I'm really passionate about emerging infectious diseases and, even more narrow, I find zoonotic diseases really interesting. So diseases that are carried and transmitted to humans by things like bats, mosquitoes, etc. With the state of the world, with climate change and increased international travel, we've kind of created this perfect storm of ingredients for a really massive pandemic that could do a lot of damage. And I would like to do my research on monitoring these diseases and hopefully, hitting them before they become a large-scale problem, which would help us both at the local level and as an international community. And as, kind of an additional note, as a big animal lover, it's super heartbreaking to see that when these diseases start to have outbreaks, we put down bats, birds, and other animals in large quantities. And hopefully by doing that research and catching things early, we can, mitigate some of that.
Hello, my name is Natalie May, and I'm from the Jamaica campus. My research interest is dentistry and oral cavity diseases and what causes them. Growing up in a low-income community in Mexico, oral health is at the low of their care. They really don't offer health care, and I want to make sure that my research focus in the connection of the cardiovascular diabetes and low birth weight related with the oral health, and find something that can solve that problem, and here in my community in Oregon as well as in Mexico.
Hi everyone, I'm Brandy Lentz. I'm from Orland Community College. I'm working on my undergraduate degree there. I'm going to go to PSU and then get a bachelor's of public health and then to a master's of epidemiology. My interest area is severe psychological trauma and how that affects the immune system. More specifically, people with severe trauma have adverse health outcomes in general, but most specifically when it comes to autoimmune diseases. The problem that I see is that oftentimes people who have severe trauma are diagnosed for mental illness, and their physical symptoms are sometimes attributed to that mental illness, and then the diagnosis for the diseases that they have can take years to happen, and after that point, organs can be damaged, and these people have been living in pain for a long time. What I want my research to contribute to is testing and the regular trauma-informed primary care that will take this predisposition into account and hopefully prevent the suffering of people with autoimmune diseases that are undiagnosed.
Hello everyone, my name is Bridie Cockburn and I'm a student at Portland Community College. I took my first microbiology class at PCC and I was absolutely amazed. I was immediately hooked. I was so impressed by how these organisms were able to efficiently adapt by creating mechanisms to evade our best efforts to control them. I want to research antibiotic resistance and contribute to the research for treatment of organisms that are now resistant to our last line of defense. Some of these organisms were once considered treatable and have now become deadly. Methicillin-resistant Staphylococcus aureus, or MRSA, kills 19,000 people in the US per year. This is more than emphysema, HIV, AIDS, Parkinson's disease, and homicide combined. I am deeply troubled by the patterns and trends of distribution and availability of medications to the population, and I want to change the health disparities that are being perpetuated in this country and in the world. I believe my research would improve these disparities by getting more answers to what we are doing and how we can improve the increase of resistance, as well as educating the medical community and the public on antibiotic treatment. Thank you.
Hi everybody, my name is Caleb Price. I'm a student at PCC on the very long road to becoming a clinical research physician. I work at the American Red Cross and I've been blood banking for about 7 years now. And I've noticed personally the shortages that we have during certain times of the year where a person can donate and their blood can be shipped out almost the next day when there's a massive trauma in the hospital and having on hand. I've also witnessed that outside of having phenotypically similar blood, you can have very rare blood types in certain communities across the world that will react with just the normal AAV, ABO, and it takes almost like a three-dimensional process of elimination to identify which antigens that we need to accommodate for this patient. And I'm really interested in the research into oxygen-carrying synthetic blood alternatives that can be readily available and on hand for any of these rare patient types or any massive traumas when there is blood shortages in the US or around the world. Thank you.
Bachelor of Science in Community Development and a System Science minor. My interest is in promoting sustainable urban development. I would like to research the impacts our land use policies and development have on our health and health of vulnerable and marginalized communities. I have a lot of important questions that I would like to address, such as how does access to parks and open spaces impact community health? And can the health of the population be affected through altering land use policies that guide urban development? So combining my urban development degree with system science, I'm hoping that it'll give me the background I need to address systematic issues contributing to poor public health, like, for example, gentrification and marginalized communities, suburban sprawl, the systematic relationships between racism and environmental pollution, and the urban density and violence. I'd like to research how we can promote and implement sustainable solutions that increase equitable development, like renewable zero-net energy, urban agriculture, preservation of urban spaces, and increasing sustainable development in vulnerable areas. I believe that through promoting these ideas, we can improve the health of communities facing systematic health disparities.
Hi, my name is Ahmed. I'm a biology major at Clark Community College. During research, I hope to find discovery compounds and find more efficient, effective ways to make better medicines with these new compounds. Currently, millions of Americans are affected by drug abuse every day that affect families and communities nationwide. This happens because they have injuries because they get injuries and they're affected by these highly addictive substances. With my research, I hope to find better ways to solve this problem.
Hi everyone, I'm Nadina Lambton. I'm currently enrolled at CCC doing I'm going to transfer to PSU, but I'm doing computer science and math. I'm hoping to get into research into assistive technology that it can help people who have progressive degenerative diseases like Parkinson's disease or spinal cerebellar ataxia, so that they can retain their independence despite having the disease, and so that they can have the same quality of life as everyone else.
Hi everyone, my name is David Paz-Mendoza. I go to Clackamas Community College and I hope to major in physics with a focus in astrophysics. And I do this because I think space is really, really interesting, and I think a lot of us think space is interesting, and we want to go to Mars one day, but at the time I don't think that's technologically possible, and also there's a lot of health risks associated with space travel. NASA recently collected data from the astronauts at the International Space Station during their mission trips of 4 to 6 months, and found that each month, since gravity doesn't affect you out there like it does on here, you lose minerals in your bones, and so you lose 1% of density each month in your bones. And then they found that during that 4 to 6 months that they were out there, there was a maximum loss of 30% of muscle performance and a maximum loss of 15% muscle mass in total. And these are just a few of the pillars that stop us from being out there for much longer than a year or two. And so if you want to travel to Mars, I think it's important to do research now to knock down even more pillars and see what we can do to help us go to Mars and maybe in 200, 300 years go to another galaxy. I think both EXITO can help me with this, with the research opportunities it'll present to me, and just the community it has for me.
Hello. Ongoing adversity in childhood leads to a chronic state of fight, flight, or freeze. My name is Erica Hamilton. I'm a student at CCC, and I'd like to talk to you about the Adverse Childhood Experience Study, or the ACE study. This study was conducted by the CDC, and they first published findings in 1998. What they found is that there is a direct link between childhood trauma and adult onset of chronic diseases such as cancer, depression, suicide, heart disease, and autoimmune disorders. I first learned about this earlier this year when I was actually taking a child abuse and neglect class, and the teacher had us do this survey ourselves. It's 10 questions. With an ACE score of 4 or more, your likelihood of chronic pulmonary lung disease increases 390%. 240% with depression, and suicide risk goes up by 1,220%. A score of 6 or more reduces life expectancy by 20 years. So I took the test and I scored a 7. So that really led to me having this big passion to find out more about not only educating the community so they're aware of what's happening, but also to research and find a way to stop that fight, flight, or freeze. And I felt that every day since I can remember. So thank you.
Hello, I'm Kason. I'm a student here at Portland State University studying mechanical engineering and getting a minor in biology. My main focus for research is my interest is in the Guipidoches people. The main prevalence of them is in Papua New Guinea and like the Dominican Republic and islands in that region. And the Guipidoches people have what is known as 5A reductus deficiency. And 5A reductus is an enzyme that typically is produced in about 8 weeks. When an XY fetus, the brain starts releasing the enzyme and it tells testosterone to convert into dihydrotestosterone, which is what causes the peripheral tissue, like your skin, to convert from female genitalia to male genitalia, and what we would then call cisgender male. This does not happen with them though, and so when they are born, they have an XY chromosome and a male gender identity, but have female genitalia. When they hit puberty at 12, testosterone is introduced into the system, the enzyme is activated, and testosterone starts being converted to dihydrotestosterone, which at that point the female genitalia starts converting into male genitalia and sperm production begins. They then develop into normal cisgender humans, or not normal, functional adults, and live normal lives. My hope is to research that process and apply that to transgender individuals in hopes for specifically transmasculine folks and improving their surgical options, with the eventual hope of reducing the suicide rate, which is around 46% in trans individuals, closer to the national average, which is about 4%.
Hi, I'm Brie Popa. I'm double majoring in health studies and psychology with a minor in Spanish. I'm interested in research rehabilitation techniques for patients suffering from motor and sensory diseases or illnesses. I like to obtain research on effective rehabilitation techniques by examining state-of-the-art brain imaging. When I was younger, my uncle cut off a part of his index finger due to a construction accident, and so after that I spent many months and even years watching him regain movement in his finger, and I also saw him rebuild neurological pathways in his brain. And so looking back, I realized that it wasn't a process of just physical rehabilitation, but also emotional and mental healing. And so this is why I'd like to create different effective recuperative techniques for physical, emotional, behavioral, social, and mental rehabilitation. And essentially, I'd like to take a neurological approach by examining the brain of patients and determining which rehabilitative techniques would be most effective for their specific illness or injury. And I'd like to apply that research to physical as well as mental rehabilitation. Thank you.
Hey folks, so my name is Jessica Cronin. I'm currently a student at Clackamas Community College, and then next year I'll be transferring to PSU, and then somewhere down the line OHSU. I intend to apply for the MD PhD combined program, specifically for neuroscience. And I'm interested in, particularly in studying a medication called L-DOPA, which is predominantly used to treat Parkinson's patients, among a couple other conditions. L-DOPA, while an effective treatment for many patients, has been known to exacerbate or in some cases be the cause of severe visual and auditory hallucinations. These hallucinations can be incredibly frightening and disruptive to a patient's life. Interestingly, however, when used to treat other conditions, it's not known to have the same hallucinatory effect. So I'm interested in looking into what in a Parkinson's patient's brain causes them to have such a severe reaction to the medication and makes them more susceptible to these hallucinations. If that piece is understood, alternatives or alterations to L-DOPA could be found to alleviate the neurological side effects while maintaining the efficacy of the treatment. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Danielle Zucero. I'm a student at PSU, and I'm aspiring to achieve a bachelor's degree in health sciences, a minor in dance, and I'm in the pre-naturopathic medicine program. As you can guess, I want to be a naturopath. What I hope to do with that is I want to erase the stigma that natural medicine is only for hippies, and I want to find a balance between medical practices and holistic practices. I hope to travel around the world and learn about different cultures and their healing practices that have kept them alive throughout history and bring that all into one place. In my research, I want to find a place for holistic practices in Parkinson's disease and phantom limb syndrome. I've worked as a caregiver and I've seen these conditions firsthand. I'm very passionate to find a more healthy way for them to live their lives to their full potential. So yeah, I believe that ultimate health is the balance of your body, mind, and soul, and working in preventative care and just being a happy person and having a happy body. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Mary Lee, and I'm also from Clackamas Community College. I'm studying to get my computer science degree and then hopefully a degree in bioinformatics. So I have a lot of interest in science. I just think science in general is cool. Like biology and genetics and all that stuff, but what I'm really interested in bioinformatics, and research generates a ton of data. And I'm really interested in how that data is used and processed and analyzed to come to conclusions. And I think that there's just so much that we can learn from all the data that's already out there, and we can learn to process it better. So I also am just really interested in medicine and how people are treated with different treatments or whatever, and I think that we can get really a lot better at sort of tailoring treatments to individuals through data. Thank you.
Hello everybody, my name is Zhao Win. I am double major in math and chemistry at PSU. I am really interested in how to synthesize the biomedical materials. So I'm come here to learn, and I am glad that I am part of EXITO. So when I be able to conduct my own research, I really want to work on synthesizing the first layer of the cornea of the eye, so that we don't have to wait for one person to die to restore the vision of another. And here's the 3 steps. Step 1, integrate research on synthesized components of the cornea. Step 2, assemble all the components into one biological contact lens. And step 3, apply and test this on non-human living subject by using nanotechnology. So when we get positive result, we can promote to work on human subject. By that, I mean volunteer. So ladies and gentlemen, if you are really interested in how to reopen the door and the window to the soul of optical patients, please join me or let me be a part of your team. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Javier Huerta. I currently do enrolled at Clackamas Community College and here at Portland State University. I plan to eventually obtain a dual degree in PharmD and PhD at the College of Pharmacy. As a chemistry major, I am currently interested in medicinal or drug discovery research, specifically in bioorganic chemistry. I would love to be a part of an advancement toward the goal of developing novel pharmaceutical active compounds that are useful in treatment of infectious disease and cancer. One way in approaching this is by focusing on the complexity bacteria interactions have in the body. the emergence and increasing occurrence of bacterial strains that are resistant to all classes of available antibiotics is a global problem. We know that current antimicrobials targets a relatively small number of essential gene functions that include inhibition of cell wall biosynthesis and functions and synthesis of micromolecules like DNA, RNA, and proteins. It is important to disable bacteria's ability to adhere to and invade host cells. The compounds of the extracellular bacteria are promising targets for drugs and vaccines that are aimed at preventing bacterial infections. We can utilize this information to identify targets for the development of new therapeutic interventions. Treatment of infection caused by antibiotic-resistant bacteria requires new innovative approaches and agents to new modes of action. Thank you.
Hi guys, my name is Amanda LaGuardia. I'm a pre-medical student at Portland State University and I'm pursuing a double major in biology and chemistry. Through Build EXITO, I hope to pursue research in the clinical and surgical techniques of cardiothoracic surgeons. I want to explore the possible cardio procedures that can be performed laparoscopically, which is a minimally invasive form of surgery. As of today, only coronary artery bypass surgery can be performed with laparoscopic surgical techniques in the specialty of cardiothoracics. But in the near future, with new innovations in research, I believe laparoscopic surgical techniques could be applied to more high-risk open heart surgeries like the LVAD procedure. The LVAD procedure has a 20.2% mortality rate, which is drastically higher than the coronary artery bypass procedure, which had a mortality rate of 10%, but once the laparoscopic surgical techniques were applied to the procedure, it now only has a 2% mortality rate. By pursuing this research, it is my optimal goal to continually lower the mortality rate of cardiothoracic surgical patients and to improve the knowledge and techniques in the biomedical and surgical research communities so we can continually and successfully grow as a society. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Daria Poshadaiva and I'm currently a student at Portland State University and I'm hoping to get my undergraduate degree in biochemistry with a minor in mathematics and I hope to pursue a PhD someday, although I don't know exactly what I'm going to do. So I'm most interested in proteins and ligands and how they bind to certain receptors in the body. I also really would like to know how these receptors change over time. Are they plastic? And what kind of external or internal stimuli cause these changes? I would really like to apply these kinds of principles and understandings to drug research. Particularly, I'm interested in understanding marijuana and cannabis, how they work in the body. And I think it's important for me, just in general, to research cannabis because it's become really popular. We see it all around. We go to parties or maybe we're around friends or family and people casually and habitually use marijuana. Awkward pause, right? But yeah, it's very serious. And actually there was a study done by the National Institute for Drug Abuse and it stated that in 2016, marijuana was the most widely used illicit substance. So it's all around us, right? And I think that the more we understand it and its effects, whether they're medicinal or not beneficial, detrimental, in the short or long term, we can better understand how to regulate it and how to keep people safe and make it a public health issue. Thank you so much.
Hello everyone, my name is Gavin Schneider and I am a communication and philosophy double major here at Portland State University. And I'm specifically interested in how the way we communicate about things impacts the way that we think about them and how those thoughts impact our behavior. Communication has in healthcare improved, or I guess disproved, or it's decreased tobacco consumption, it's improved HIV prevention, skin care, decreased levels of melanoma, and improved levels of vaccinations here in the United States. Through this program, I'm interested in doing qualitative and quantitative research to discover which kinds of communities are susceptible to inaccurate information and, as a result, poor health choices. Is it a certain age group, specific races or ethnicities, or is it the general public? What communities and which groups need what kind of information to be the most successful and be empowered enough to make the best choices for themselves? I want to be sure that all of the incredible information that my colleagues and my fellow Build EXITO cohort members, all the amazing research that you're doing is understood and can positively impact as many people as possible. Thank you.
Hi there. Before I start, I just want to say thanks to Royal Clackamas Community College for telling me about this program, or else I wouldn't be here. And so, right now I attend Clackamas Community College. My name is Abrams Gonzalez, and I am transferring, I'm getting my transfer degree, emphasis in biology. And my interest is studying viruses and how to find new treatments for them, affordable treatments, and possibly how to find cures for them. So like my interest for viruses came from the Ebola virus. At a young age, I saw the outbreak that happened in Africa. It interested me. At a young age, I was like, what can I do to help? I was too young, what could I do? And so sooner or later, I got into high school and college, and I did 2 papers on the rabies virus, which soon got my attention. And from there, I started thinking, like, how can we find treatments for them? Treatments for patients that are near-fatal symptoms of the virus, and cheaper treatments for them. So like the age rate, an expensive treatment for patients who have been infected with the virus, and trying to obsolete the Milwaukee protocols, treatment that has only been successful once with a patient named Diabetes, and trying to obsolete that and find a cure for people who have been infected, making it affordable for people who have been infected in third world countries, second world countries, and first world countries like us here in America. Sure, we might not see many rabies cases here, but in other countries they struggle with animals that have not been vaccinated, animals that have been infected, and so that is my purpose. I want to do research in viruses.
Hello everyone, my name is Robin McKay and I'm a student here at Portland State University. Falls are the leading cause of accidental death in Americans over the age of 65. Even with survival, falls often lead to poor health, declining function, and significant morbidity. As an aspiring electrical engineer, I'm interested in topics at the intersection of medicine and electronics. Recent advances in machine learning and robotics have allowed for the development of lightweight, wearable exoskeletons. Now these are dynamical real-time systems, so they can detect when someone's about to fall and alter the gait so that you catch yourself versus ending up on the floor. They're also custom fit to the individual wearer, so the system actually learns how you move over time and improves to you specifically. Now AI systems are only as good as the information they get. So my research aims to advance the state of the art by giving these AI brains in these systems better sensor networks. So there's the research that I want to do is using resistive graphene sheets layered on top of the load-bearing surfaces of these systems to get fine-grained information about torsion, flexion, and the kind of forces they're experiencing, so that that information can be fed back into the AI system in real time and just work better. And hopefully this leads to lighter systems, smaller systems, and systems that can be used in places where they wouldn't be used before because they're too clumsy, I guess, for lack of a better word. And that's all I have.
Hey everyone, my name is Carol Salmo. I'm majoring in biology here at PSU. So I have a cousin who suffers from some sleep apnea, and since I'm very interested in the field of dentistry, I came up with this question. So can early treatment with dentofacial orthopedics be used to prevent the development of obstructive sleep apnea, or OSA, later in life in high-risk children? OSA affects 3% of children and nearly 20 million Americans today, and puts those individuals at an increased risk of heart attack, stroke, and diabetes. Improper development of the jaws can result in blockage and ultimately oxygen deprivation, which leads to obstructive sleep apnea. Orthopedic devices can be used to encourage forward growth of the jaw bones, making obstruction less likely to occur.
Good afternoon. My name is Yata Barnett.
I go to Portland State University, and I'm majoring in biochemistry and minoring in math. You may wonder why I'm in a wheelchair. I caught polio at age 4. Because of this reason, I was physically and emotionally abused. For these reasons, I decided to be in the medical field. I decided to be in the medical field so that I could research a new method of regenerating muscle tissue to help with muscle dystrophy. Thank you.
What number? 4, 5.
Hello everyone. My name is Brian, and I'm a student here at PSU studying psychology and community health education. My interest is in how green spaces help or affects my mental health or physical health in any way possible. We all know green spaces are beneficial to humans' health, but what I want to learn or do research specifically on is about bioswale or rooftop garden. Different gardens instead of explanatory, but bioswale is basically sidewalk. They both have shown to help with the stormwater management, increasing in biodiversity through providing different types of plants that will furthermore provide food and shelter for insects and pollinators, and of course the invertebrates. As you can see, both are super beneficial, but they still need a lot of research and development and data to actually be successful. I would love to figure out if such use of green spaces will actually furthermore enhance human health. Thank you very much.
Hello everyone, my name is Bell and I'm studying biochemistry here at PSU. My research focuses on how and what treatment can help a smoker reduce their smoking habit. There is a study showing that secondhand smoke exposure at home can contribute to a child development of asthma. My dad is a heavy smoker, but fortunately I do not have asthma, but I have allergy. As I experiencing uncomfortable every time something triggers my allergy, I can imagine how difficult it is for the people who have asthma. Therefore, be able to help smokers quitting their smoking habit can save many preventable deaths in the U.S. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Ricky Bowie. I'm a student here at PSU pursuing a science major with a design management minor. Over the years, a white lab coat has become the symbol for identifying physicians in any healthcare setting. However, a number of pediatricians have abandoned the white lab coat idea in exchange for something that may be more comfortable and less scary to young children. I think there should be a change in the attire of pediatricians, as it can improve the relationships between the pediatrician and patient, as well as make them more comfortable. I believe in the idea that more acceptable and comfortable yet functional clothing should be encouraged, as it would be less frightening to younger children and promote a better perspective of doctors to kids at a younger age. Once again, my name is Ricky, and I'm interested in researching and advancing the idea of more inviting apparel in pediatrics as well as the healthcare setting.
Hello, my name is Mackenzie Vigracian, and I'm currently studying psychology at PSU. In high school, I was the president of the Gay Straight Alliance for 3 years. In this position I held, it generally made others comfortable coming to me for education and emotional support when it came to LGBTQ issues. What I noticed over the time I served was that a majority of those I worked with struggled with mental illnesses such as depression, anxiety, and PTSD because of bullying and home abuse. I did further research and found startling statistics. LGBTQ individuals are 3 times more likely to experience a mental health condition and 4 times more likely to engage in self-harm or attempt suicide. The statistic can go up to 8 times when they lack family support. And on top of all of this, there are still disparities in healthcare because of stigma, prejudice, and a lack of overall education. Because of this, I'm interested in studying the effects of trauma and maltreatment on youth in this community and how this affects brain development, emotional and behavioral functioning, and overall mental health.
Hi, my name is Kelly Zed. I am pursuing degrees in community health education and psychology here at Portland State. Growing up as an Asian American, I have witnessed many health disparities in my own community. One in particular revolves around the issue of mental health. In the United States, Asian Americans experience mental health illness at the same rate as the general population. However, they are less likely to go out and seek help from a professional. Many Asian Americans, including my friends and families, have a mental illness, but they would not acknowledge it, or they would simply say, "I'll be fine," and they'll go away. So with such denials in the mental health illness, their mental health status, I'm interested in seeking answers to why there's such disparities in mental health and ways that it can be resolved.
Hi everyone, my name is Nalisa Thavaksak, and I'm a microbiology major here at Portland State. About a year ago, I attended a conference hosted by OHSU School of Public Health, where I listened to an epidemiologist speak about how bus exhaust fumes alter the DNA of mice before birth, so the prenatal exposure. Public transportation is usually the only means of travel in communities of lower income. Typically, these communities are exposed to the bus exhaust fumes way more frequently than communities that are privileged. So I thought, wow, if these bus exhaust fumes are altering the DNA of mice, what is it doing to the pregnant women and infants in these lower income communities? I wondered if neurodegenerative diseases began from the nasal cavity due to airborne viruses over a long period of time that affect the brainstem. The prolonged exposure to the brainstem could be rearranging signals that create extra antibodies that attack the normal brain tissues, causing neurodegeneration of the white and gray matter, which affects memory loss and normal brain functions. The decay of white and gray matter typically occurs in diseases like Alzheimer's. Again, my name is Nalisa Thavaksak, and I'm interested in researching neurodegenerative diseases with the focus on epidemiology in lower income communities. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Anna Zen. I'm pursuing a degree in psychology with an emphasis in development. One of the most accepted model theories of human development is Brenner's ecological systems. The systems are made up of 4 intricate layers that define what interacts and what influences development. Within these 4 are micro, meso, exo, and macro. Specifically looking at the microsystems, their families exist within that layer, and families definitely define us and they can shape us. And what I'm interested in looking at is overprotective parenting. It's on the rise, and there's definitely research to show that there's a higher risk of depression, anxiety, and low self-esteem. With looking at the rise of overprotective parenting, there can be research that can go towards looking at what we can do to tell the future generation of parents into into showing their children how to have adequate skills to navigate life. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is EXITO. I am currently attending PSU, major in biology. Fast food industry is rising in the United reported on Nature. It was shown that lifestyle factors such as smoking and balanced diet strengthen as the rate of aging. The process of aging involves the changes occurring in our cells. Lifestyle factors does not only affect the way we look, but also impact human expression. The Norwegian University of Science and Technology found out that overconsumption of carbohydrate causes genes to overwork. In the long run, this could lead to cardiovascular diseases, cancer, dementia, and other health concerns. This particularly affects people in the low-income community, since the government does not always supply the family with enough money for nutritious food. Thus, I'm curious to investigate the impact of diet on gene expression.
Hello everyone, my name is Lily. I'm a student from PSU, a major in biology with a minor in chemistry. My research interests include studying the mechanism of pancreatic cancer because of its unique challenges in identification and treatment. The current treatment is a complex procedure called mapping procedures. It's one of the hardest procedures known to surgeons. It's very risky. There is no identification method, no assay, no markers for cancer, prognosis, range from 5 months to a year. The 10-year survivorship rate is about 10%, and most patients die within 5 months, making clinical trials extremely difficult. I'm interested in contributing to making a detection system that helps alert the immune system to the presence of microscopic cancer cells in the body, and I hope to increase the survival rates of those with pancreatic cancers in the future. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Sandra and I'm a chemistry major with a minor in mathematics here at PSU. Ever since high school I had an early interest in science, but I didn't really know what had triggered that energy of like neuroscience. So neuroscience research focuses on over more than 1,000 disorders, and some of those are behavioral disorders, Alzheimer's disease, brain tumors, and other disorders and diseases related to the brain and the nervous system. As seen, neuroscience revolves around the nervous system's function and how the brain works. The nervous system and the brain are important components of our bodies that control our feelings, sense of smell, sight, touch, and hearing. These are all senses that I think are important to continue researching and discovering new information about their complex identities, and learning about their complex identities of neuroscience research will help health. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jay Sani, and I'm a sophomore at the PSU Urban Honors College. I've spent nearly 2 years volunteering at the Salem Hospital, where I was able to develop relationships and directly communicate with a lot of patients on a frequent weekly basis. From this experience, I was able to better channel my passion for clinical research and clinical studies. I'm immensely passionate in selfless service as well, as it is one of the key foundations of my religion and Sikhism. I plan to enroll in an MD, PhD, or MPH program, which will allow me to better apply my interests for public health within individuals. I foresee myself working as a trauma surgeon, working with medically disadvantaged and underserved communities, in hopes to propitiate the aperture of healthcare amongst them. I plan on researching resuscitation and trauma care. This will include ongoing studies of traumatic brain injuries, acute blood loss and replacement, blood clots in an effort to reduce death and disability amongst patients after a traumatic injury. I hope to apply this research under scope of public health. My research of early resuscitation will allow me to further identify health disparities within the patients I plan on working with. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Amy Young, and I currently attend Clark Community College. So for the longest time, I've always been interested in the medical field because I love to help people, and whether it's direct or indirect, I just like to help people with their health. I think health is great. However, there has been a problem that I've noticed that has been increasing in severity lately, and everyone might know this, but it's allergies. They're really annoying, and it would be okay if they were just annoying, but the problem is that they can be deadly at times. If you're too allergic to a pollen, you can sometimes get anaphylactic shock if you come into contact with it, such as eating or you're touching it or even you're smelling it. Anaphylactic shock is a really extreme reaction to the pollen, and sometimes this can lead to, say, the swelling of the throat, and that leads to inability to breathe, and then that also leads to death. Sadly, my brother is really allergic to peanuts, and peanuts is like one of the #1 allergens out there, and I love allergies.
Hello, my name is Daphne Garcia, and I am currently attending Portland State University, majoring in biochemistry and minoring in math. My goal is to one day work in neurological research, specifically with Alzheimer's disease. So the year before I was born, my grandmother was diagnosed with Alzheimer's. This is an illness that affects approximately 5.5 million Americans and is expected to increase to 16 million Americans by the year 2050. Her illness wasn't very evident at first. She would sometimes misplace things or repeat herself several times. But once I reached approximately the age of 10, it had just progressed exponentially. And this was very difficult for me because she had been my primary caregiver. She practically raised me because my parents were unable to. And this was, all of a sudden the role had switched where I was the one caring for her and providing her with the help she needed. She's now in a state of complete immobility, and she can't communicate with people anymore. And so what I want to do is help not only these people suffering with the disease, but also with their families and the work with Alzheimer's. Thank you.
Hello. My name is Luke Campbell, and I'm going for a double major in physics and mechanical engineering. I'm interested in researching autism, specifically the underlying neurological causes of the condition. I hope to do this using technologies such as fMRI and EEG. Now, beyond developing a better understanding of autistic minds, I hope my research will help change a lot of attitudes regarding autism. Because a lot of our current attitudes are concentrating more on curing or suppressing the condition, and I hope to replace those with attitudes that are more focused on helping autistic individuals actually use their condition for the benefit of themselves as well as society. And now this is an important issue because according to the CDC, diagnoses of autism increased by nearly 200% between 2000 and 2014. That's a lot of individuals who are consistently told that they can't have a family, can't go to college, can't hold a job, and besides denying them or discouraging them from living to their fullest, it also denies the world a lot, the benefits from a lot of amazing, unique minds. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Allie, and I'm a student at Portland State University majoring in biology, minor in chemistry. Currently, 1 out of every 4 individuals in the States is expected to die because of a cardiovascular disease. A significant portion of this whole population has to deal with having a time bomb right in their chest. They have their aorta, the major blood that is going to the major vessel that's carrying blood through their vessels, the major vessel that carries blood in their body, is going to rupture, and it can happen at every second. His condition is so extreme that less than 10% of these people have the chance of making it just to the operation room. And this is because of no or misdiagnosis of the condition due to the lack of knowledge of this root cause of the main cause of this disease, which is the thinning of abdominal aortic vessel. The main interest of my research is to find the root cause of this disease so that the mortality rates could be decreased for this condition. I appreciate your attention.
I'm Matthew Glass. I'm a student at Clark College, and I'm an EXITO scholar. My interest is culinary archaeology, which is the study of humans and their development through food. And I want to do any kind of research into food, because once you understand one aspect of it, you can apply it to anything. Like I made a Viking flatbread from the 800s, and it was found in these graves at Burka, and it tasted just terrible. You can only taste flax seeds in it, but it's a really important context of why they made it like that is because you need to be able to preserve it. It's easy to make. And I can connect that to hardtack, which is a food that sailors would eat from the 1200s to World War I, and it could be preserved for 2 years at a time. And it's disgusting. It's very well known for being disgusting, and that connects to a bagel I had today. It tastes exactly like that flatbread. And because of what I learned from how the Vikings would eat the bread, they eat it with honey because it's natural sweetener. I did it.
Hello everyone, my name is Alyssa Levac, and I have a passion for observing your everyday behaviors. Behavioral psychology is a branch of psychology that focuses on the modifications of human behavior, feelings, actions, and thought processes by environmental factors. Behavioralists theorize that behaviors can be learned by conditioning a certain behavior, either through the association between two stimuli or a relation between voluntary behavior and consequences. By centering on the subdiscipline of behavioral psychology known as applied behavior analysis, research can be used to uncover the underlying reason behind a certain behavior, which leads to an opportunity to develop useful methods to change or understand significant behavior. Applied behavior analysis methods can implement solutions for children with autism spectrum disorder, can influence criminal behavior, and apply to a wide range of behavioral problems relating to substance abuse, parenting, phobias, and more. Although I do not have a personal experience with behavioral psychology, just being able to help and identify why someone might be acting the way they were makes me all the more passionate about this topic. Thank you.
Hello everybody, my name is David Peshkoff. I'm an undergraduate scholar at Portland State University, and I'm studying mechanical engineering. For as long as I can remember, I have always had moments where I felt helpless in certain moments that suddenly arose, whether it was a time where I saw my grandpa trying to talk to his nieces and nephews, only to realize that he forgot his hearing aid and wasn't able to communicate with them. Or the time where my sister passed away from Hodgkin's lymphoma at the age of 24. But moments like these were not forgotten, but instead were used as motivation to do something about it. That's why I'm going to take my love for others, engineering and biology, blend those together in a mixer called college, and become a bioengineer with a focus on rehabilitation engineering to be able to innovate prosthetics to help people in their everyday lives, so that whenever moments like that arise again, I will be able to do something about them. Thank you.
I'm currently pursuing a bachelor's in biology and a minor in mathematics, and
idea exactly where this is going to take me, but I do have a strong interest in the neuropeptide that's involved with SIDS, sudden infant death syndrome. It's a neuropeptide called orexin, and low levels of it have been linked to the occurrence of SIDS. And I would be interested in, at some point, studying this and the mechanism by which low levels of orexin causes babies to not wake up. And the reason I have interest in this is it would possibly shed light on other sleep disorders such as narcolepsy. And being able to test for this could also help cut down, help diagnose SIDS and perhaps understanding how to treat it better. And this is an important area of research, clearly, because I think we can all agree that health is very vital to a healthy human lifestyle. So, thank you.
Hello, my name is Marissa. I am a pre-med student at UAA. I am interested in researching the genetic predispositions of autism spectrum disorders. The group of autistic disorders is definitely very complex. It's actually been found that no two cases of autism are exactly the same, which I find kind of interesting. Specifically, I would like to focus on the sequencing of exomes. It's a procedure where scientists kind of look at the portion of a gene where they focus or they produce proteins. And so it's important because these proteins they can look at these proteins and read to see if there's an alteration in the sequence, which can lead to finding a disease or a disorder. It's actually been found that there is a specific gene called CHD8. It is really important because it is connected to 5,000 other genes. So when this one single gene is like altered or mutated, it can affect all the other genes, which can affect the phenotype. And so the reason I chose this topic was because not only does it affect 1 in every 68 families in the United States, but it's really a complex puzzle that I'd like to learn more about.
Hi everybody, I'm Callie from Alaska. I was in the military for 8 years, and when I deployed, I saw a lot of people that were coming back from a hard location, and all I could do as a mechanic was either give them water or hope that my plane didn't crash with them on it. So when I came back and started taking gen eds, I was really into nursing, and then I got into a psych class. I was like, ooh, this is cool too, and decided to do a nursing and psych major as well. So I separated a couple months ago and was diagnosed with PTSD as well as some other issues like physiologically. And usually people assume that has to do with my combat experience, and I let them think that because it's easier to allow that kind of combat thing than to stigmatize myself as being like, no, it actually had something to do with when I was a kid and my body kind of exploded and tried to kill me. And I think that's kind of what mental health and holistic and physiological health is. However, like what I want to research is sometimes in communities you have people who can cope really well. And research has already proven that you can teach resilience to other people, which is fascinating. So how do they think the way they think, and what do they do to be able to do that? So I want to go into communities and find these people and see how that correlates between that community in general. I want to be able to find like how they think the way they think and be able to teach that to the other people. And hopefully then we can decrease that stigma and we can all get back together. Thanks.
Hello. My name is Brooke Shea. I am a rising junior here at Portland State, where I'll be studying speech and hearing sciences, specifically neurolinguistics. That's the study of how and where our brains store information for the languages that we speak and understand. I'm also very interested in the impacts that physical trauma have on speech production and comprehension. I originally wanted to be a speech language pathologist in a school setting, but I decided that I would probably thrive more in a more clinical setting. So that is what originally made me start thinking about trauma. But I was still really wondering how many people I would be able to help in a clinical setting, so that once again kind of gave me another tangent to start exploring research where I figured that I would have the most opportunity to help the most people. So trauma to the speech centers of the brain should be considered high importance because communication is not something that's optional, and we live in a world where verbal communication is the most efficient and the most It's the most efficient and it's the most common. So we need to work on finding faster reversals for victims suffering from communicative disorders that inhibit full communication skills. And I've worked in an adult foster home for developmentally disabled adults for 4 years, and I work with a woman in her 20s who has Down syndrome and a mutated chromosome. So it's really important for me to make her feel like people don't give up on her. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Mackenzie Gray and I'm a student here at Portland State University studying biology. So when I was 7 years old, I went up to the Shriner Children's Hospital here in Portland and was diagnosed with scoliosis. I was treated, 7 years later I had a spinal fusion surgery and my treatment was amazing and my spine's straight now like it's supposed to be, it's great, I have great posture. And so when I think about why my treatment was so great, I really think about the years and years of research that went into that. And so this kind of gave me an interest in pediatric healthcare and biomechanics. And during my first term here at Portland State University, I took a seminar class that was presented by researchers at the OHSU about cardiovascular disease. And at this seminar, I learned that congenital heart disease is the leading cause of infant illness and death in the US. And this really bothers me because the surgical treatments that are options right now lead to many issues in adulthood for these patients. And so I would like to study cardiac embryonic development. And by studying the potential biomarkers that could lead to diagnosing congenital heart diseases, we could find better treatment options, which could lead to saving 40,000 babies a year.
Hi there everyone, hope you're doing well. My name is Anthony Negrelli and I spent a couple years working with the mentally disabled, and I found one particular client who I developed a particular affinity for, and he had learned helplessness disorder, which essentially means that through certain causal factors in his immediate childhood environment, his will was kind of denigrated to a certain extent, and he consistently believed in his incapability to accomplish certain behaviors which were in his sphere of competency. And so I'm interested in coming up with an understanding of how the human will become stronger, and how individuals can reach their potential, their full, act out the fullest of their potential, and developing cognitive behavioral therapies which are specified for the disorder of helplessness.
Hello everyone, my name is Zach, I'm joining from Alaska. I'm interested in researching the use of a ketogenic diet in metabolic diseases, specifically cancer. Ketosis is an evolutionary adaptation to a state of starvation, and so if you go a couple of days without eating, you run out of glucose, or your body runs out of glucose reserves. And so at that point, your liver begins to create fat reserves, what are called ketone bodies. These ketone bodies become the fuel for your energy output. So one of the many physiological benefits of being in a state of ketosis is increased cellular regeneration, meaning that your body begins to cleanse itself of precancerous cells that have accumulated over time. It's also believed that cancer cells are not able to metabolize ketones, and therefore there's the potential of a ketogenic diet being used as a tool in slowing, perhaps even stopping the growth of cancer cells. I began experimenting with the ketogenic diet a little over a year ago. I initially was more interested in the short-term benefits of being ketosis, so things such as increased energy, decreased diet, increased cognition, better sleep, amongst other benefits. Now I'm kind of focusing more on the alternative uses of this diet, and yeah, I'd like to see if we can use it as a tool for battling cancer. Thank you.
Don't get us.
Hello, my name is Maisha. I am a mechanical engineering student with a physics minor, getting a physics minor. And so I'm very interested in a lot of different things, but my top two I'll tell you about. So I'm really interested in cancer research, and so in my family we have a really high instance of cancer. We have a lot of people with cancer. Anyway, and according to the Cancer Institute, Black people and African Americans have a higher death rate and a shorter survival rate. And so I'm really interested in seeing how I can affect change in my community with people with cancer. And then I'm also interested in helping design sustainable communities for low-income and brown people. And so when I was growing up, I didn't really have access to like green vegetables or like different grocery stores. All we had was a super Walmart for grocery store. Yeah, crazy. And so when I came to Portland, however, all of that changed. I eat vegetables and I love them. I have fruit, like I have different fruits. I don't just have bananas. So I'm kind of acting as a spy, and so I'm trying to recreate Portland for brown people. So, yeah.
Hi everyone. Can I take this? There we go. My name is Rosario Eli Rengel. I go to school at Clark College. And I think it was really hard for me to kind of pinpoint my research interest because there's so many things to be interested about. But I think for timeline, I think the first part I want to do is I want to research water purification methods, and then also I want to know more about using natural energy sources. So I'm from the Republic of Palau. That's where I was like raised all my life. And I remember growing up, we had water hours where we only had water for like 2 hours or like 3 hours a day. And so we had to like save up our waters to use for that throughout that day. And so that's something that I really want to learn here and that I can take back to that community, and also with natural energy sources. Also, like while I'm here, I really want to learn about the biopsychosocial factors revolving around trauma from colonization and the loss of identity that people feel, and the health disparities that come from that, the change of food and cultures. I feel like there's a lot of interconnectedness and intersectionalities that affect different peoples from lower socioeconomic statuses that I want to address in the future. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Jamie. I'm studying psychology and minoring in sociology here at PSU. I'm curious about how stereotyping affects the clinical treatment received by minority patients. So I'd be interested to examine various ways that clinicians could change their methods of inquiring about patients' backgrounds, behaviors, and symptoms so they can provide more adequate care and resources to those who may be marginalized in today's healthcare settings. So like, for example, a lot of transgender people go through medical transitioning, such as hormone replacement therapy or removing their reproductive organs, or just various reconstructive surgeries to achieve the physical characteristics they want or to be recognized as their gender identity. And I myself am trans, so I know from personal experience the anxiety, confusion that can come along with having to check a simple male or female box, because like that doesn't accurately describe you, and when you go into the office you're just gonna have to explain to the doctor how like unique you and your body are. But and even though this problem isn't just for trans people, I like to point out like there's intersex people too. But I think it'd be really fulfilling to just work in a field that challenges the currently accepted norms in society, makes it more accessible and equitable for all people.
Hi, my name is Mariah Leatherman. I am a student here at Portland State University, and I am double majoring in communications and psychology with a minor in sexuality, gender, and queer studies. So, I grew up in a small town that was beautiful to look at, but not so beautiful to be in. Long story short, I was forced to switch schools in search of a more accepting and non-discriminatory environment, but still never found one by the time I got to high school. So I saw my high school ignore minority groups because it wasn't their issue. I saw my high school refuse gender-neutral restrooms because you can't have everything you want. And then my high school told me to deal with sexual harassment because boys will be boys. Well, I plan to change that viewpoint with community psychological research and discrimination. My Research will focus on the behavioral development of discrimination to see what correlations there are, and then use the information to implement programs in these rural isolated communities. These communities do fall further behind with social justice issues because they are isolated and they lack exposure and funding for these programs. So I hope to provide the support for the future generations that many of us in this room unfortunately did not have.
Hi, my name is Maya Escobedo, and most of you probably don't know this, but I was diagnosed with bipolar when I was a junior in high school. A lot of people in my life did not take that very well. Sorry, I just wanted to adjust that. My family refused to acknowledge that it existed. My friends refused to accept me into their life because they didn't need that. Now, I'm interested in going into psychopathology to help increase understanding for people with mental disorders and just allow us to create advocacy for that. I also would be interested in helping produce naturalistic medication for people with specifically mood disorders and schizophrenia, mainly because not many people with those disorders like taking medication. It scares them, it makes them feel ashamed of who they are. So if we can just link together and all just make understanding the norm instead of discrimination the norm. Yeah. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Yoreli Cornejo Torres. I'm a first-year college student at Portland Community College. I want to transfer to PSU to study public health, specifically community health education. Coming from a Latino family, a lot of my family members have passed away having diabetes, and I became concerned for my community and my family. According to the CDC, diabetes is the 5th largest disease in the U.S. and it currently has no cure. As a researcher, I want to bring the public health providers, the business community, and diabetics together to help prevent, detect, and treat complications that have to do with diabetes, as well as implement an educational component to communities in terms of bringing awareness about this health disparity that impacts us all. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Lisa Feria, and as a child I remember that my dad always enjoyed hiking adventures and dancing. And I also remember looking at him thinking how strong he was. Unfortunately, over the time, he has debilitated and rheumatoid arthritis has crippled him. For me, it's not only heartbreaking to see how hard it is for him to hardly be able to walk, but also to see how doctors react to him when he says that he thinks that he got arthritis due to suffering from many falls and including a kick from a bull. According to the CDC, and I'm sure that many of you also have a family or a friend that lives with a chronic disease such as arthritis. And according to CDC, over 117 million people alone in the United States live with a chronic disease. This creates a great problem as many of these patients living with a chronic disease take medications for the rest of their lives. And as we all know, most of those have side effects. And also their quality of lives are greatly reduced as it disables them. I'm interested in doing research that will find epigenes that can turn off or on sections of the gene in order to prevent progression of such diseases when people are initially diagnosed, or perhaps even prevent them as many of them are hereditary. Finding such epigenes is important because it would greatly increase the lifestyles of these people.
Hi, my name is Patella Kaka. I am currently working on an associate's degree in Hawaiian Studies and a bachelor's in communications in the University of Hawaii system. Growing up in Hawaii, you're kind of exposed to this thought that Native Hawaiians and a lot of indigenous peoples are prone to a lot of health disparities. And so my grandfather actually died from a type of stomach cancer. My dad has type 2 diabetes. And in the extended family community, you see a lot of similar health complications like cardiovascular disease, high blood pressure, low blood pressure, and the like. And so I believe that by becoming more active in the senior to effectively combat these things through health policy and health advocacy. And so I'd love to use that Native Hawaiian study and that communications degree to effectively communicate and advocate to create healthy changes in lifestyle and quality of life in Hawaii.
Hello. Aloha. Talofa. Buenas dan mafade para todos samzu. I come from the beautiful island of Roller. It's one of the 3 islands in the Sinai. And I am currently a student at the Northern Marianas College. Did you know that diabetes is one of the leading causes of death in the Sinai? In addition, we are considered 3rd in the world for diabetes based on population. So in the Sinai, 83% of people with diabetes are indigenous, and out of the 82, and out of the 82%, 58% of them are women. So for my research, I am interested in looking into the aspects within the Chamorro culture to help identify ways to decrease the rates of people developing diabetes, and also to gain a better understanding as to why this disease occurs more with females versus males. Thank you. Jesus Masi.
Hello everyone, my name is Jerry Naranjo, and my field of study is in health science, working with aging individuals that have Alzheimer's and dementia. About 5 years ago, I found out that my great-grandma had Alzheimer's, and from my personal experience, I learned that when a person's diagnosed, it has a tremendous impact on their loved ones. So through my research, I want to help improve the patient's quality of life and understand the structure and the functions of Alzheimer's. I want to help create a system in which both the family and the individual or patient have support and resources. And in the long run, I would like to help find a cure. Thank you.
Aloha everyone. My name is Michelle Farias, and I'm a pre-nursing student at the University of Hawaii, West Oahu. And will be applying for the BS Nursing program this fall. In terms of health research, I'm interested in health disparities with the Native Hawaiian community. More specifically, how obesity plays a role as one of the central pathophysiological mechanisms underlying the issue of different chronic diseases such as diabetes and heart disease. This is important to me because studies have shown that in Hawaii, Native Hawaiians have the shortest life expectancy and the highest mortality rates than any other ethnicity found on the islands. This matters to me because as an aspiring nurse, I feel that the solutions we have today needs more investigation, and I want to help create change with that. Thank you.
Aloha everyone. My name is Bianca Paishan. I'm a pre-nursing student working towards applying to the BSN to RN program offered through a partnering school. I've yet to refine the scope of my research, and I don't believe that I will be able to until I truly begin my research in my field of interest. But as a Native Hawaiian, I've been surrounded by those within my community suffering from a number of various health disparities. I have examples within my own family, adding even further motivation to finding solutions to curing these medical conditions affecting my people. My brother is a sufferer of diabetes, and my father has pancreatic cancer. It is because of them, as well as my responsibility to the Lihue, that I am so passionate about finding solutions for the various health inequities affecting the Hawaiian population. Thank you.
Aloha, my name is Carrie Okaka, and I'm a student at the University of Hawaii at Manoa. And as we've heard, Hawaii has a lot of unhealthy people, and so especially my family and friends, I'm very aware and concerned about the decline of health within the Native Hawaiian community, as well as the Western style of teaching is somewhat in conflict with the Hawaiian style of learning. And so the research that I want to conduct will be on the uses, practices, and cultivation of traditional Hawaiian medicine and plants called la'au to help the community use the naturally occurring elements within their environment. And I also want to research, practice, and infuse art with cultural activities as therapy to improve emotional, mental, and physical health within the Native community. So I'm kind of unsure about how the two will merge together completely, but an example would be the Olena plant, where it is used both as a foundational medicine and a kapa dye within the traditional arts. And so I hope by using these methods of both la'au and art and cultural therapy, I can improve the health and learning of Native Hawaiians.
Hello. My name is Desiree, and I'm a student at Schenectady Community College, planning on transferring to PSU, where I'll double major in psychology and social science. Since about the year of 2006, my siblings and I have been forcibly separated from our parents, which strongly influenced my desire to study how experiencing social trauma at an early age impacts brain development and consequently individual functioning and behavior throughout the lifespan. With my research, I want to better understand the causes of abnormalities in the brain of individuals who have these experiences particularly, but on a large scale, not specifically family separation, to help them learn how to thrive efficiently within society instead of just feeling incapable and incompetent because of what has happened to me.
Hello, my name is Michael Santos. I'm from Northern Marianas College, and I'm here to talk to you guys about drug addiction. So, as we all know, drugs are bad, and I would like to talk about that how bad it can actually be. So everything can be in moderation, but we don't really do moderate. In a recent study in 2016, it proved that drug addiction is now the leading cause of death in Americans under the age of 50. And in 2016, about 59,000 people died. And that's about 10,000 people more than people on my island on Saipan. One addiction I want to talk about in particular is opioids. So people use opioids to help with chronic pain, and people get really addicted to it. A study done says that 80% of opioid supplies are being consumed in the US alone. 1 in 4 people who are prescribed this medication are addicted to a certain degree, but only 5% seek help. Now this is a serious problem. But a researcher is claiming that we should look at the patient itself. We should look at their circumstances, not the drug itself. We should see if they're in a good life. And yeah, that's something I want to begin with. Thank you.
I'm Adriana from Clackamas Community College. I'm interested in public health and community science. I'm here because I want to be an advocate for my Hispanic community and other underrepresented communities. I want to be a part of remodeling the healthcare system as well as creating an environment in which everybody feels cared for and important. I feel that healthcare providers are still overworked, and not just healthcare providers, but like health workers in general seem to be on a lot of load. And that they can't dedicate enough time and care to their patients. I also want to reduce prejudice and discrimination to make seeking healthcare more approachable, affordable, and accessible. At first I came in just wanting to do nursing, just like total tunnel vision, and now I just want to take a broader approach to it. So we'll see where I go. If I can't change everything, then I can be the difference. So.
Great, table 8 rolls.
Hi, my name is Brandon Gatwin, and I'm a chemistry student from the University of Guam. Tobacco use presents a big issue in Guam. Since 2015, Guam has been the highest smoking rate among adults in the U.S. territories, and the U.S. as well. Guam's youth maintains the highest prevalence of tobacco use. According to the University of Rochester in 2017, individuals under the age of 25 are the most vulnerable to the addictive effects of tobacco, as the brain has yet fully developed mechanisms to cope with addictive tendencies and behaviors. So to address this problem, the Guam legislature has passed the Tobacco 21 bill that raises the tobacco access age from 18 to 21. The suburbs of Needham from Boston, Massachusetts have actually successfully passed the Tobacco 21 legislation and saw great success with a dramatic decrease of smoking rates among high school students between 2006 and 2015. The result of Tobacco 21 is looking promising. By collecting data on the youth smoking rates before and after Tobacco 21 and analyzing how cultural differences may affect the results, we may identify the efficiency of Tobacco 21 legislature on island and ultimately get other Pacific islands to follow our path.
Hofade, my name is Amber O'Kinkle and I'm a student at the University of Guam, majoring in sociology with concentrations in development studies and social problem studies. On my home island, the native people of Guam come from a strong family-oriented heritage. However, there are many social problems that exist in every society. So in my previous spring semester, I conducted a research investigation on problems in the family. I executed the research through empirical interviews and secondary analysis, which compared the results of 3 diverse family issues: financial hardships, medical complications, and untraditional family structures. Results presented was that 33% of the test participants interviewed were medically diagnosed with anxiety due to past family issues. With that, I found an interest in how family problems generate health issues and would like to expand my research onto a larger scale on island and hopefully other societies as well. The goal is to determine if problems within the family play a major role in causing mental health problems and illnesses, so that proper measures can take place and implement prevention methods. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Leanna Sanchez from the University of Guam, and I am a health science student with concentration in public health and psychology. My research will aim to build our life by addressing social and psychological reasons for smoking in my Phoenician communities, specifically adults from Guam. Recent surveys conducted in Guam show that smoking prevalence is higher compared to the U.S., where 30.5% of adults smoke, unlike the U.S. average of 21.2%. Although one knows the harmful effects of smoking but has not stopped, is because the reasons for smoking are psychological. It would be better to understand those reasons using Pavlovian reflexes, which associate other activities with smoking that may be known as triggers. The study provides direct evidence that addiction to smoking takes control of some of the neural circuits of the brain. By studying Pavlovian reflexes of micronesian smoking, can determine if the others smoke or the smell of cigarette smoke as some of the reasons, thus making smoking prevention in Guam more cost effective and closely addressed.
Good afternoon, my name is Ezra Severo and I major in biology at the University of Guam. So non-communicable disease such as cancer, heart disease, stroke, and diabetes plays a huge role in health disparities. On Guam, 61.4% of all deaths are caused by NCDs, with heart disease accounting for 31.4% of those deaths, being the highest occurring NCD. Although Guam has an NCD strategic plan that primarily focuses on reducing the rates of heart disease by targeting modifiable risk factors such as tobacco use and alcohol consumption, heart disease incidence was 8.6% higher in 2011 than the previous 4-year annual averages. I believe reducing the rate of heart disease may lie in addressing the non-modifiable risk factors, and my research interest lies specifically with individuals who have high cardiovascular risk due to their genetics. Studying genetics and its relationship with cardiovascular disease will allow us to create more genetic tests to help find and inform those with an inherited predisposition. This can improve prevention efforts and help those with genetic risk to seek early detection and treatment. Thank you.
Buenas and half a day. My name is Jacqueline Garodi, and I am a sophomore majoring in sociology and psychology in the University of Guam. On our small island, several dilemmas significantly affect the youth of Guam, and the most alarming issue is youth suicide. So the Guam Pacific Daily News reports that nearly 60% of all suicide deaths from the year 2000 to 2014 occurred in those younger than 30, and according to the Bureau of Statistics and Plans, is the leading cause of death among youth aged 10 to 29. A study entitled Suicide and Suicidal-Related Behaviors Among Indigenous Pacific Islanders in the United States found that social and psychological factors such as family conflict, intimate partner relationship violence, and depression greatly contribute to the highest suicide rates found in Guam's youth. Furthering research efforts and governmental policies affecting families and mental health institutions will improve the implementation of regulations and provide appropriate training for staff and educators in school settings. Further research can bring to light the detrimental factors, including exposing negative cultural norms and promoting discussions of topics that are taboo and pose barriers to suicide prevention. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Megan Gibbon and I'm a biology major from the University of Guam. And on Guam, diabetes is one of the leading causes of death, and its mortality rate stands at 39.9 out of 100,000 deaths per year, compared to the national average, which is about 22.3 out of 100,000 deaths per year. And so recent studies have shown that transplanting islet cells into the abdomen of patients with type 1 diabetes has negated their need to take insulin supplements. And one clinical trial has found that it can last for up to 10 years. So one of the barriers in this is that they need to take immune system suppressants to prevent the body from attacking the foreign islet cells. So by studying how we can protect the foreign islet cells in the patient's body, we can progress the research in finding a long-term treatment for both type 1 and type 2 diabetes.
So my name is Eric McHouston, and I go to Portland Community College, and I'm most interested in immunology, with also kind of an initiative with public health and interest. What I want to do with that, that's kind of captured my eye, is HIV in particular, just because it is something that really affects me as a gay person, but also my partner has HIV. So because of that, I'm on pre-exposure prophylaxis, which is, think of it like birth control for HIV. And this has 2 drugs inside it, which is tricidamine and also tenofovir disoproxil fumarate. And they work in terms of like NRTIs, which pretty much impact the virus transcriptase process. And this is the only drug that is available for pre-exposure prophylaxis, and they happen to have a lot of really bad side effects, even to the extent of bone loss, renal failure, dizziness, nausea, crazy dreams, depression, on and on and on. And so this led me to start looking into other things that might help me. And my boyfriend has 4 generations of other antiretroviral treatment. And these 4 generations have better drugs in them, and they are more effective, even up to 90% more effective. And They work by lowering the concentration of tenofovir in the system by using a different chemical complex of tenofovir. And because of this, people do not experience nearly as many side effects. Do I have to do it over? Oh, okay, I'm so sorry. No, don't worry about it. I kind of worry about that.
It is really hard to cut you off. I am sorry. It is 4:30.
Half-a-day, hello. My name is Chanel Wentz-Anderson, and when I was born, I was sort of my mother's miracle baby. And it's not because there's anything particularly special about me, but it was because before I was born, my mom had 13 miscarriages. And this is because she had an undiagnosed autoimmune disease that was misunderstood in my part of the world, despite clear genetic markers that could have been used to present the disease acquisition. And this crisis is happening across a variety of non-communicable diseases, including diabetes, autoimmune diseases, and cardiovascular diseases. Palau is currently second out of 196 countries in the world for diabetes prevalence. And in 2005, the Sinamai, where I'm from, was third. This is a crisis that is only being addressed from a socio-cultural perspective, completely ignoring genetic causes and predispositions. Therefore, I want to use genetic mapping to identify, treat, and prevent NCDs in the Pacific, so that in the future, people like my mother have a chance at a better life.
Half a day, and hello, I'm Austin Los Santos from the Northern Marianas College. Today I'll be discussing with you about areca nuts, which is commonly known as pua or betel nut from where I come from, and that is the biggest cause of oral cancer within the Pacific region. In my island, 60% of junior and senior high school students actually chew pua, and pua is mixed with crushed limestone and cigarette. And what you do is you put it in your mouth and you chew it for like 10 minutes. And that causes oral cancer. So what I wanted to do is actually collect data and use the research to bring more awareness to the Pacific Islanders about the effects of chewing betel nut and like just oral cancer itself. Nailed it. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. My name is Angeline Manabat, and I come from the island of Saipan, representing Northern Marianas College. The diseases of Zika, malaria, dengue fever, and chikungunya all share a common bond. They are spread by our favorite pest, the mosquito. Moreover, malaria holds the highest morbidity rate amongst them. It takes the lives of over 1 million people in the sub-Saharan region in Africa in 1 year alone. In my research, I want to focus on eradicating diseases that are rampant in third world countries through biomedical engineering. By using a genome editing application known as the CRISPR-Cas9, scientists are able to modify the gene that transmits malaria and therefore allowing the mosquito's ability to spread the resistance gene within their population. In the future, treatment for similar widespread diseases will no longer be incurable. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Marco Serrano from Portland State University. I'm majoring in biology with a pre-med track. And so pretty much what my goal is to reduce the disparity of the amount of Latinos in the medical field. So pretty much I've seen firsthand what it's like for a patient who does not speak English to have to deal with the translator, I guess, because most of the time it's the doctor talking to the translator and the translator talking to the patient, so it's not really like that direct communication. And so pretty much that's like my motivation for me to become a doctor. Personally, I don't have like one main research that's like interests me. I have very many interests, and so overall I just want to like make a big impact in the whatever respective field I'm in.
Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Jordan Grant and I'm a sophomore at Portland State University, studying to get my Bachelor of Science in Psychology and my minor in Criminology. My goal is to obtain my Master of Arts in Forensic Psychology, my PhD in Clinical Research. My interest clearly lies in behavioral sciences, and I'm going to get a little bit dark here for a second. On April 20th, 1999, Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold enacted a premeditated attack on their high school peers in Columbine, Colorado. Together they murdered 13 and wounded 20 others. 18 years later, the questions we have about the murderers and their motives go unanswered. My research aims to narrow down why school shootings are on the rise and ultimately determine how we can lessen the occurrences by recognizing the behavioral patterns in our youth. Utilizing the little information we have on the past school shooters and ones that may still be alive, we can begin to find the correlations with nature and nurture, mental illnesses, and a whole host of other factors in order to pinpoint key elements to those who end up going down the same path. My goal is to keep our society and children safe, and lessen, if not eliminate, instances to these tragedies. Thank you.
Aloha, my name is Noah Puetsasi from the University of Hawaii, and my topic of interest is the influences of technology in a new generation. And I would like to know the pros and cons of technology on a new generation. And so far, research has conducted negative effects on the people, and so I wanted to know the positive effects of technology within our generation. And usually, the negative effects would be sedentary and a great drop of physical activity. So I wanted to research more about the positive effects of technology, which could be developing new programs and applications that could help which could help, like, for example, they created the Pokemon Go and helped many people become active and has a great influence on the community. And also, yeah, thank you.
As she lay in her bed, her legs trembled uncontrollably, and she could not find the strength to lift them up. It was her first time in the ER, and she could not make sense of it. The patient, an 18-year-old female named Leslie Vergara, a public health student at the University of Hawaii at Manoa, which happens to be me. Everyone important in my life made sure that I was doing everything that I needed to do to succeed, but at a great cost to my physical and mental health. I wonder how many other Asian Americans face the same fate. Do Asian American parents realize that an excess amount of stress could lead to health complications such as mental illnesses? In my research, I want to find the barriers to providing mental health services to Asian Americans and bridge that gap somehow. If I find these things, I'm able to improve the mental health of Asian Americans across the nation, and hopefully get them and myself off of hospital beds. Thank you.
Hi guys, so my name is Erica. I'm a student at the University of Hawaii at Manoa, and I'm pursuing my degree in sociology. Okay, so I was born and raised in Honolulu on the island of Oahu. So basically, like, all of my childhood memories are there, all of my family and friends are there, and just my whole life and my whole heart is there. And I have an unconditional love for it. But after living there for 18 years, you know, we come to realize things more than our beauty, our beautiful beaches, our beautiful mountains. I also noticed where and how we struggle. I noticed one thing that particularly bothers me is that people, or groups of people, like some of my other colleagues have talked about Native Hawaiians and other Pacific Island groups, are often overlooked in our society, and that affects them trickling down all the way to healthcare. You know, I'm only one person, and I can't solve all of our socioeconomic or healthcare problems, but as an aspiring physician with a passion for women's health, I think I know where I can start. So I aim to do research in an area that will primarily serve underrepresented or marginalized groups of women in Hawaii. And to be frank, I don't really know what I'll do, but I know why I'll be doing it. I want a healthier Hawaii and therefore a healthier home. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Vida from the Northern Marianas College. Do you know who your loved ones are? As we age, we go through life trying to figure out who we are. We share our stories to others, most especially our loved ones. But what if what defines us disappears? What if we start to forget the ones we love? Alzheimer's is a disease affecting about 40 million people worldwide. Currently, there is no cure. The presence of amyloid plaques are found in the brain of people diagnosed with Alzheimer's. These amyloid plaques impair cellular functions and synapses, which causes loss of memory and cognitive thinking. My research interest is in gene therapy for Alzheimer's, which uses inserted genes that will target those specific genes related to the disease, preventing the growth of amyloid plaques. Gene therapy is a pathway to combat Alzheimer's and the start of the journey in keeping memories and identities. Thank you.
Talofa, o au o Olivia Charlie ati Sanoe, o te Samalia o Matutuatasi o America Samoa Community College. Hello. Back in the islands, diabetes is a big thing, and I'm gonna take a turn on not focusing on diabetes because some of my girls are gonna do that. My mom was diagnosed with diabetes when she was 11, and when she fell pregnant with me, it was a really hard process for her. Already dependent on her insulins, she was taking prenatal vitamins to take care of me. Growing up, I had decayed teeth, and talking to the doctors, he said it's from the excess amount of pills from pregnancy. I want my research to be based on trying to find any alternative ways in safely dealing with pregnancy while diabetic. I want to find ways to safely bring in the new generation without harming them. May it be local herbal medicines at home or artificially made with great focus and care. Thank you, Yamaguya.
Greetings and Talofa. I'm Vanessa from American Samoa, and I'm studying health science in ASCC. Growing up in a small island where cancer just occurred in a blink of an eye is a big issue. Cancer has touched many of us in some way. We can all draw some form of intimate connection to the disease. The search for alternatives, cures, and treatments has been ongoing for many years now. In the island, cancer patients drink soursop and papaya leaves and believe that it 10,000 times stronger in slowing the growth of cancer cells. And it's effectively target and kill malignant cells in 12 types of cancers. I am interested in researching about the comments in the soursop and the papaya tree so that I can identify a more natural and safer way to treat cancer. Why risk going through chemo and radiation that causes hair fall and skin problems when there is a more natural and safer way to go? I believe that when you start from small things, you can be able to conquer big things there. Like, who knows, maybe an islander can come up with a way to help the world treat cancer. Thank you.
Talofa, my name is Francine Maruta Yopu. I am currently attending ASCC. I'm majoring in health science and with the passion of becoming a pediatrician. Growing up on a small island, surrounded by nature and loved ones, I see that my people struggle a lot with health conditions, especially diabetes. So I'm really interested in finding the cure for diabetes, but before I go deeper with the cure, I wanted to start with the surface because it's those small things that matters. So I'm gonna have to start with the lifestyle. It has to do with tarot, but maybe I'll go deeper with that, but I'll leave it like that for now. I'll come back next year and I'll let it, you guys know. But anyways, I sort of figured that if I start in my community and if I'm able to connect my community with ideas and take the lead, I'll do the same thing and be able to connect the people of the world when it's time for them. Thank you.
I was supposed to go last, but it's okay. Greetings and Talofa. My name is Wabasitia. April Lynn is Sarah, but most of y'all know me as April. I am currently enrolled at American Samoa Community College, and I am the youngest of 7. Being the youngest of 7, I have been blessed with the opportunity to take care of my father. Being the last one at home, I see my father has high blood pressure, he's borderline diabetes, he has gout, and he suffers from PTSD. With all of this being said, every day I see my dad bring out his medicine bag, and it has been really difficult for me to see him drink more than 6 pills in the morning and as well as in the evening. My goal for my community is to increase the use of our traditional medicine and to decrease the dependency of our people on medication. Traditionally, it has been shown that our traditional medicine has helped our people. So why not use what we have instead of importing it? And overall, that's my goal. Thank you.
Talofa, my name is Alice Tosama from American Samoa Community College. My research is based on mental health. Mental health is very misunderstood, and basically I opened my eyes on a cure treatment, a fully treatment that will help a lot of people that are going through OCD, eating disorder, anxiety, depression, and bipolar. And that's what I want to create. I want to create a world of trauma surrounding different types of mental illness with each episode. Usually yes, of course, we know that psychiatrists prescribe medication just for that time being, just to calm them down for whatever disorder they're going through. But I wanted to create a medicine that, like a sustainable medicine for people who have disorder, like a cure, lifetime medicine for them. Thank you.